You were talking about like Falco's lasers in general in terms of like timing mix-ups. What are like the typical patterns that you notice maybe like mid-level Falcos of lasers? You talked about like laser dash back, and then you talked about like laser go in. Are those
Laser,
like the two?
double laser into anything. Almost every level Falco I see does two lasers and then makes an immediate decision one way or another.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't know why it became two lasers, but if you watch, I'm sure you'll see. Actually, if you watch Magi Summons, I follow that Magi was doing this. It was laser, laser, idea, laser, laser, idea, laser, laser, idea, and it was very, very rhythmic. A lot of Falcos are genuinely very bad at mixing up when they do stuff off of laser. Not even mixing up like high laser or low laser. It's just laser, laser, idea, laser, laser, idea. And it's like, okay, like I'm just gonna take the two lasers and then wait for you to come in. I'm down.
Right. So
Not
so
a
it
problem.
doesn't even matter typically. I mean, I'm talking just general, right?
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter how good the idea is post laser if you know that they're gonna come in usually every single time like
You
that.
should be losing that situation pretty hard if I know you're coming in. If I know when
Right.
you're coming in, that's usually a problem. The only character that can really make that work sometimes is Fox. That's
Mm-hmm.
because he's usually faster.
Yeah. Huh.
Wow, as a mid-level Falco, I feel so called out.
So in some senses, then the laser can be like really detrimental to the
It's a
Falco
crutch.
player. Right.
It's a
Huh.
huge crutch. And the thing is, a lot of people are scared of laser. And the number one thing that like made me way more confident with Falco recently is when I kind of realized, like, wait, like I can like lasering isn't stopping me from dash dancing or like playing neutral. It's just like another
Mhm.
tool. That's it.
Mhm.
Like I can keep playing around it. It's not an issue. Like the
Wow.
world doesn't end because I got hit by a laser. I took 2% and have a mild amount of hit stun, and I'm
Right.
still faster.
Right. Who do you think does the best against lasers in general? Like a really varied Falco laser. Who do you think has the best time against that among the foxes?
I think usually it was Kalindi for a very long time. Kalindi's actually saying that I am now. I don't know if that's true, just because I think of Kalindi very highly in the matchup. But right now he's saying it's probably me. I Mang0's Fox is up there. I just don't see it enough versus Falco to like
Mhm.
give it. But it's like definitely possibly the best. I just don't watch it versus Falco enough
Got it.
because he doesn't
Let's
play it
say
that much.
let's talk about like you. Like why do you think you would be, or why do you think Kalindi would think that you're the best against that? Like what is your mindset?
It happened when I got better at the ground game versus Falco, and so now that I have really good grounded and full hop mix-ups, and Falco doesn't know what's going to happen, it makes it the lasering as a Falco much, much, much riskier.
Hmm.
So I started playing at a different spacing versus Falco, which allowed me to get in on the ground a lot easier, which was the first step of getting better, but then I was approaching too much off of laser on the ground. What wound up happening is that eventually I realized, like, oh, I can also just dash ins out of this like really easily and like make it look like I was coming in and then not. And then between those two mix-ups, which was already really scary, plus having a really good full hop, I think that's when it was like, okay, I feel really comfortable in this matchup now.
Okay. Can if you do you mind pulling up Slippy and just showing me that kind of spacing that you're keeping?
This is better. So like right here where it's like I'm kind of like outside of his range, I thought he might come in here, but right here he doesn't have much to do right here. So I thought he might come in again
Ah,
after this laser because I shielded, full hopping over it. I could have full up over it and came down and back aired, but he didn't. So I kind of reset it. He overcommitted. That's fine. But whenever neutral eventually resets again,
huh.
if it resets,
It looks like it's like approximately like 2 back air lengths away.
basically I just don't want him to be able to laser and then immediately come in and laser me, but I want to be able to come in and immediately like hit him for lasering,
Hmm.
if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just trying to see how real, like visually, how close that is. Hmm.
Oh
That's
wow.
tricky though, huh?
It is
Especially
because you have to
because
earn that space. The thing is, Falco can meaningfully cover that space when you're not already in it, because
right.
like laser approaching aerial is still like really scary, and so you have to like
Mhm.
try to earn that space. So like right there, I tried the full hop again, and he did a really good job of just immediately calling it out with the jump shine. Right, so
Uh-huh.
that was really good by him. But then he missed his tech chase, and he comes down. Okay, he just died off of really silly stuff this game. I think actually George Fox said that the way I spaced versus Mang0 at Summit was really good, even if Mang0 was playing like really badly. I was like I was turning my back a lot versus him because Fox's back air is like really, really annoying for Falco to deal with. Where it's like I would turn around, like see how I would turn around right here, dash back to power shield the laser,
Oh,
and it covers this
right.
really annoying space where Falco's like, okay, well, what do I do now? Mang0 tries to go, and I just immediately call it out with an up smash.
Right.
So it becomes,
Even if you don't get that power shield, it's still good to like kind of keep your back facing
yeah, back air is
away.
really annoying for Falco to deal with.
Mhm.
So that spacing in general is just really freaking obnoxious for Falco to deal with.
Right.
And you see how like a lot of times I am like keeping my back to him in that space because back air is obviously better at like walling him out than Nair is. But
Right.
I still have my dash in at any point that I want.
What do you think like the Falcos are doing to like kind of counter what you're saying to counter that kind of
You have
spacing?
to
Do they
outplay
go
me.
a little bit further away, or they?
You have to
I mean,
outplay me. It's a decision making. Like it becomes at this point, there are two things you can do. You can stalemate me so I don't even get into that position. That is the fiction approach. Or you can just try to completely outplay me. And wave dash in shine does give me a really, really hard time. If I am doing something like that and you just wave dash in with like a max length wave dash, okay, yeah, so Mang0 just said Falco wave dash is the answer. Max distance wave dash in shine is really, really, really hard to deal with in that spot. That does lose to drill still, but that makes it so that if I have my back turn, because the back hit of Fox's drill isn't as good as the front hit, it makes it a lot trickier for me. Having said that, at the end of the day, it does come down to just straight RPS. It's like, who's the better player instead of Falco laser, I die, which is what Fox has complained about for years when that wasn't necessarily true.
You'd have to do a fairly long wave dash though, right? Mang0's definitely got those. But man, I don't know how many people could do that long wave dash.
Wave dash notches.
All right, I see.
Wave dash notches. Notches are good.
God damn it. All right.
Notches are good.
I wish you said like, oh man, yeah, they gotta practice hella hard and they
nope. Nope.
On commentary, I'm definitely not gonna mention notches. I'm gonna be like, dude, their wave dashers are so long.
Yeah,
so
just hype them up. Just hype them up. Just hype them up. But yeah, wave dash does pose like a pretty annoying mix-up for me. But at the end of the day, it comes down to actually just playing well. Like it becomes an actual game of melee. I talk about this a lot, where I get really frustrated playing low and mid-level players, but I usually don't actually articulate what I mean. The reason I don't like playing them is because I'm not playing melee with them yet. And it's not their fault either. A lot of them want to, but they literally don't have the game knowledge to play melee with me yet. You can't play RPS against someone that literally doesn't know how to shoot rock.
Right.
Because they just lose, right?
Yeah, you always have the answer.
Yeah, it's like I have something that just wins all the time, and that's why I get like really frustrated playing them. Because it's like I want to play melee and I can't. And it's not their fault. Like, you just have to, like, there was a time I didn't play melee. It's like, oh, you're being so elitist. How dare you? You're such a piece of shit. It's like, no, I couldn't play melee for a long time too. It takes a while to get there. It's very hard. There's a lot to do in this game.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. On which stages do you think you can keep that spacing the most? Like, we're still talking about keeping that, like,
Yoshi's.
Yoshi's.
I think Yoshi's is busted for Fox. Funnily enough, the only character where I actually am starting to think they do pretty well versus Fox and Yoshi's. There's actually 3 of them, and they all used to think that these characters got owned by Fox and Yoshi's, and I think the opposite. Peach, because Peach can meaningfully cover top platform, and you can't run away from Peach and Yoshi's, and usually that's a very good strategy against her because she's scrapping. Puff, because you can't run away from Puff. She can rush you through the platform at 0. You can't meaningfully circle camp her because, again, the top platform is a lot lower, and it becomes a lot more of a scary scrap where, like, again, you can die at any percent. And Sheik, for the same reason of that top platform not being there, is really good for her and bad for you because she can just up air it meaningfully. And you, again, can't really run from her, and you do want space against it. People used to hate it versus Marth. I think it's broken from Fox versus Marth. Hate it versus Falco. I think it's Fox's best stage versus Falco. Wow. And I think it's always been good against Falcon. I still think it's good against Falcon.
So you really don't ever counterpick. No, I shouldn't say never, but you usually wouldn't counterpick like Peach, Puff, or Sheik to Yoshi's just based on what you're saying, unless like
I don't
told you otherwise.
Sometimes I'll counterpick a Peach there. Like if I feel like it's the best stage I have. If like Battlefield and Stadium are gone, I still think that the other stages are probably worse. So I'm down. But besides that, I'd rather go to both Battlefield and Stadium before Yoshi's.
Got it. So going off of what you're saying, just based on like being able to use the space most effectively from Fox, then second in line would be Battlefield
against Peach, yeah.
Or just in general too, just because you're saying.
Well, Battlefield has other detriments. The thing about Battlefield, like the reason I don't mind it versus Peach, because Peach has a hard time edgeguarding Fox, period. But Battlefield not having that wall to ride does mess with your recovery quite a bit. Like not having any wall ride is actually pretty bad. It changes the game pretty hard. So I do think that Battlefield has its own detriments. But I do think Battlefield is a very good neutral pick. And it's like, if you lose on Battlefield, it's probably not because of the stage.
Okay.